Please welcome first chairman, John Abele.
Welcome to First Kickoff 2006. 38 sites from Anchorage, Alaska to Renana, Israel to Porto Alegre, Brazil. Welcome all. 227 rookie teams, 907 veteran teams, a new record. This year, First participation has added 3 new regionals in Boston, in Milwaukee, in Tel Aviv, Israel, bringing the total number this year to 33 regionals, as well as the championship in Atlanta. There continues to be a growing interest in what we do at First outside the United States, including 63 teams in Canada, 26 in Israel, 5 in Brazil, and of course the United Kingdom, and 1 from Ecuador, and 1 from Mexico. We welcome all of you. We are grateful to NASA for making this broadcast in all the many places around the world, and we welcome all of you. We can never thank enough the 2,200 sponsors who make First possible, as well as the suppliers whose names that you have just been seeing. Thank you also to the team leaders and the volunteers, 45,000 of you who make First what it is, as well as to the board members who are attending events here as well as around the country this morning and this afternoon. In Anchorage, I might remind you, it is 6 o'clock in the morning, and in Renana, it is 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That's a nice spread, well-timed. The First robotics competition, as we know, is not just about robots or machines. It is people. It's about learning to work together with others towards a shared goal. That's the only way to be successful in this world. It's about teamwork. It's about finding and using each individual's unique talent to make the project team more successful. It's about what makes the world work. In keeping with those values, First's highest award, as you may remember, is not about machines either. It is about people. The ultimate First prize, the Chairman's Award, goes to the team that best exemplifies that partnership. In fact, teams that have won the Chairman's Award are our role models for transforming culture, and that's what First is all about, into one that honors science and technology, working together, and creating value. 14 teams have earned the right to be inducted into the First Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame teams remain active in our cause and serve as examples for the rest of us to follow. The team that wins the Chairman's Award is now also given a rare opportunity to work with Hollywood producer Paul Lazarus. They're going to produce a video about the team. Each year, the Chairman's Award winning team is given a broadcast quality video camera for a few months to capture some of the team's activities. And then Paul and his team edit that footage to make a wonderful record of the accomplishment. Last year's winner was Team 67, General Motors Milford Proving Ground, and Huron Valley Schools. We look forward to seeing their video at this year's championship in Atlanta. The winner in 2004 was Team 254, the famous Cheesy Poofs, NASA Ames and Bellarmine College Prep. Here is their story.
So remember, I love Cheesy Poofs. You love Cheesy Poofs.
Wait a minute. What does this have to do with the Chairman's Award?
Well,
This year's Chairman's Award winner is Team 254, the Cheesy Poofs. NASA, Ames Research Central, Laron Incorporated, Unity Care Group, Linex of San Jose, BK Selective Medical Plating, Bellarmine College Prep.
Sportsmanship, gracious professionalism, team spirit. The Chairman's Award is all about helping others.
You can win a competition, congratulations, you have a trophy. If you win but don't make any friends there's something wrong.
One of the great things about the Cheesy Poops Team 254 is, along with NASA, they've taken this mobile machine shop around to other regionals, not only to fix their own broken parts, but to help everybody in the competition.
What we do every year is we pick certain teams at regionals to hand out awards based on excellence, team spirit, other stuff.
Sweet.
The Chairman's Award is about building a team with corporate sponsors, parents, teachers, engineers, and students.
First represents a team effort, and I think that the team effort goes way beyond just the robot.
I think the parents are key to having a good program.
Cheesy Poops rock.
Chairman's Award teams share what they know.
I do hope to help younger people, like as I grow older and become a senior, and passing on that knowledge. That's what it's about.
There's a big Lego League organization. We've helped volunteer with the state championships the last 3 years.
Chairman's Award teams spread the word.
You're able to spread the message of FIRST out to the most people, and by doing that, you're able to make FIRST grow.
I have been so impressed with the program in terms of the depth of the things that the kids can get involved with, like a website and the newsletters, the computer involvement, and the animation, the video stuff, because it really brings so many kids into the team who may not touch the robot.
And now, a word from our founder.
If your team is doing well, if you're helping other teams, particularly new teams, get involved and do well, if you're helping to get the whole community involved and getting a little sleep, you're probably almost eligible to win a Chairman's Award.
Technology, outreach,
Mentoring,
Commitment.
All-nighters.
Cheesy Poops,
gracious professionalism,
Hard work,
Perseverance,
team spirit,
Sharing what you know.
sportsmanship,
Helping others.
First highest honor.
FIRC.
I love Cheesy Poops, you love Cheesy Poops. If we didn't love Cheesy Poops, we'd be lame.
Please welcome First President Paul Gudonis.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's a real honor for me to join you at my first Kickoff, and I'm really looking forward to an exciting competition season and then congratulating our winners at the Atlanta Championship in just a few months. Well, back in high school, I got hooked on science and technology and then went on to study engineering in college. And since then, I've had fun working with new products and the people who invented new products such as cell phones and internet services and other types of software. And now working with John and Dean, Woody, and the many volunteers who make FIRST such a terrific program. And knowing what you're about to do is just an awesome experience for me. And I just want to do what I can to make this just the best experience, the best thing about your high school career. Now, before you see this year's challenge, I want to let you know about some of the other things that are going on at FIRST, and also thank those of you that have helped out. I'd like to take a couple minutes to congratulate the FIRST Lego League for a great season. We had over 7,500 teams from 31 countries that participating in the 2005 Ocean Odyssey Challenge, where they were designing and programming robots to explore and protect our oceans. And here's a quick video look at this year's challenge.
FIRST, in partnership with the LEGO Group, designs annual real-world challenges for teams of children aged 9 to 14. This year, FIRST LEGO League worked with experts at the renowned Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution and Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute to develop real-life aquatic challenges for teams and their robots. Over the past 6 months, more than 62,000 children in 31 countries around the globe joined the 2005 Ocean Odyssey FIRST LEGO League Challenge. Our oceans are of vital importance to the health of the Earth, yet only 1% of these magnificent bodies of water have been studied. FLL teams expanded their understanding of our oceans with missions like species sampling, creating artificial reefs, deploying a submarine, and finding sunken artifacts from shipwrecks. The Ocean Odyssey Challenge tasked FLL teams to explore the vast resources and activities that our waters offer, identify potential challenges and opportunities, and develop solutions to preserve the oceans for generations to come. FLL teams, solving problems and inspiring change.
Congratulations go out to our junior First LEGO League teams. We had over 300 teams of 6 to 9-year-old children who studied the oceans alongside the FLL teams. They had an opportunity to show off their creations at 27 JFLL expos, which were held in conjunction with the FLL tournaments across the U.S. and Canada. And at first, we'd like to stay abreast of new technologies, so next year, the First LEGO League and the Junior First LEGO League teams will explore the world of nanotechnology and how this new field is going to change the way we do things every day. Now, many FRC teams are mentoring the FLL teams and even taking on the challenge of running the qualifying events, and your efforts make a tremendous difference, and we thank you from First. In addition, First LEGO League team members make great FRC teammates in the future with their software skills and experience, so keep an eye on them. And so from all of the FLL teams and staff, I'd just like to wish all the FRC teams a great success in the 2006 competition. Now, also in the past year, we've been piloting a new initiative, the First VEX Challenge, in a partnership with Radio Shack. We were looking for a way to provide a first experience to more students, and VEX kits are available in thousands of Radio Shack stores around the country. So this season's challenge is the Half Pipe Hustle, and we're conducting a half a dozen tournaments around the country, and the leading teams will be invited to participate in the championship in Atlanta. I want to thank those FRC teams, again, that have been mentoring VEX teams in your areas because, again, it's a great way to groom future FRC team members, as well as enabling more students to really discover the excitement and the rewards of science and technology and engineering. Now I want to speak specifically to the team leaders and mentors. Now, we at First know how much work and time and effort is involved in supporting a First team. We know that there's a lot more to it than just building a robot. This is a complex exercise in project management, creativity, and perseverance. And we thank you all for taking part in changing the lives of the kids involved and indeed making this next generation stronger and more able to take advantage of the opportunities and deal with the challenges ahead. It just wouldn't happen without you. So, team members, please join me in a round of applause for all of our mentors and the team leaders. Now, after the first robotics competition, we want to encourage you to go on to study science and engineering in college, and we'd like to help out with one very important item, money. And your parents would really appreciate this, because by participating in the first robotics competition, you are eligible to apply for scholarships offered by more than 70 colleges and universities, professional associations, and corporations. Because these institutions recognize the value of the first robotics competition program, and they're really impressed with both your technical knowledge and the life skills that you develop by participating in FIRST. Close to $8 million of scholarships are offered from schools like Drexel, University of California, Davis, Worcester Polytech Institute, ITT Institute, Arizona State University, Florida Technological University, Boston University, and many others. And there's scholarships for engineering, computer science, automotive technology, and other majors. Now, some of these scholarships honor academic achievements, and others are just for participating on a FIRST team. So there are plenty of scholarship opportunities for all of you to look into, and for more details on these scholarships and applications, please go to the FIRST website. Now, to wrap up, I have two important announcements. First, in your kit of parts, you will find a digital camera and Picasa software, which was donated to all teams by one of our newest sponsors, Google, because we'd like you to create a photo essay of your first experience, and then we'll be providing you with information later on about posting it via Google. And so we're really excited about this new opportunity for you. And then finally, I want to encourage you to design, build, and compete with your robots in a fun but safe manner. You're about to create big, fast-moving machines, and we at FIRST take safety very seriously. So I'm pleased to announce today that Underwriters Laboratories, which is the ultimate brand name in product safety, in association with Bruce Power, is providing a complete safety program for FIRST, including regional safety experts, training for safety advisors, and safety supplies. So please, learn from your safety advisors and your fellow team members. And along those lines, we ask teams to submit a computer-based animation video to help us highlight one aspect of safety. And this year's winner is Team 342, the Burning Magnetos of North Charleston, South Carolina. So please join me in watching this video, and then I'll see you at one of the regional competitions and in Atlanta. So good luck, have a great season.
There's a right way and a wrong way to lift a robot. This is the wrong way. If you see someone lifting a robot improperly, stop them and offer to help, and always bend at the knees. This team is obviously in a hurry, and they're showing little regard for their fellow competitors. Make sure you have a sturdy transport cart, the robot is secure, and your path is clear. In other words, care enough to act.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So, Paul said all the things I wished I could say. John said all the things I wished I could say. And in a few minutes, Woody and Dave will explain the game and the spirit and all the other stuff. So, I don't have anything to say this morning. But I do want to remind people of something really important. Yes, we're out of control, and it's great. We're growing at a phenomenal rate. You heard about all the new programs from Paul. But part of the risk of the fact that FIRST has become so competitive, like every other sport, and so much fun like every other sport, that people might forget that there's a difference. It's not an accident we were built on the sports model, but there's a big difference. It's an important difference, and I just, to the returning veterans, I'd like to remind you why 15 years ago we started this thing. And to the rookies, maybe for the first time, I want you to really remember as you go through this very anxiety-ridden season what's really important here, because unlike in most sports, where the means and the end are the same. I bounced the ball, or I got the points, or I didn't. The purpose of FIRST is to bring whole new opportunities and ideas and concepts to kids that might not ever really think about them. FIRST was built on a simple premise 15 years ago. We get, in any culture, what we celebrate. And most of the rest of the cultures around the world these days are celebrating knowledge and learning. They've seen what we have in this country because for hundreds of years we've led the world in science and technology and learning. But the result of all that success in this country has made us so wealthy we get to spend our time on sports and entertainment. And kids spend an inordinate amount of time on sports and entertainment. And they forget that is the result of our wealth, not the cause of it. and they take for granted the stuff around us that has really created our quality of life and our standard of living. We take for granted the science and technology. But if you believe that a society will get what it celebrates, and we need more capability to stay in the leading edge, to make the future better than the past, if you believe that therefore kids have to really learn to celebrate the important and right things, there's got to be room for science and technology in their consciousness, in this sea of noise of, frankly, a lot of distractions. And so, 15 years ago, we said, let's create an institution that will do for science and technology and engineering what the NBA and the NFL and the entertainment communities have done so well to celebrate those things. I mean, think about it. We're surrounded by sports heroes and entertainment figures. Where do kids in this country see scientists and engineers and inventors and thinkers and problem solvers as heroes, as celebrities? Where do they see that these are young, exciting people that love what they do and have the same passion as Shaquille O'Neal does? Where do they see that they're women and minorities that are every bit as much part of this world as these others? It's rare. And so, 15 years ago, we said, let's steal from the playbook of sports. Let's make science and engineering and technology every bit as appealing and accessible and fun as any other sport. Because the only sport in which humans really play in the unlimited class is thinking. I mean, you think we're big on a football field? Put an elephant out there. You think we're fast? Put a gazelle out there. The only sport in which humans do real well is creating and thinking. That's what it's all about. But in a media-driven culture, how do you get that to kids? Well, again, stealing from the world of sports and entertainment, you want kids to do those things, you show them the best of the best. You show them the incredible superstars in the world of entertainment and singing and dancing. You show them the world's best athletes in the NBA and the NFL and the Olympics. So in order for FIRST to work, we had to go find the superstars of science and technology. They're out there. They've created the life we take for granted. But we had to collect them and figure out how to put them in front of kids in an interactive way that is friendly and appealing and accessible, like sports. And we did it. And it's growing. But it's important then to remember that the superstars in those other fields are paid to be there, to be stars, because it's how they make a living. The mentors that are working with the students here, they have a day job. They keep the lights on. They keep the hospitals running. They're curing the diseases and making the air breathable and making the water drinkable. These people, these mentors, these superstars of science and technology are donating time and effort and energy to give kids an opportunity to see what's really possible. They are the role models that hopefully are going to give kids an opportunity to make intelligent decisions with their lives. Maybe they'll become intelligent designers, and becoming an intelligent designer would be a pretty interesting thing. It's not just fun. We hope over the next couple of months you have as much fun as you could have in any sport you'll ever do. But the other part of FIRST that's missing from most of the things that are this much fun is that if you all do it right, the students that participate in this might make career decisions that literally will change their lives as a result of this. And it'll change our lives, it'll change our culture, it'll change our future, it'll give us the right kinds of things to celebrate. So we're now up to 1,100 and some odd teams. It took us 15 years to get here. If we can keep doing this right, I think all kids in this country and around the world should have the opportunity to see what's really possible for people that focus on solving real problems and achieving really important goals in a fun, productive, nurturing environment. If we do it right, we'll keep attracting more of these incredible superstars from industry and universities and elsewhere to make it work. And we'll be able to do more with the students. And we'll keep on this incredible growth trend with this incredibly important organization. I know you want to get onto the game, and I know Woody's going to give you some really good insights about how to do it, and Dave is going to show you some really cool technology that we put into the kits this year. But I'm really asking everybody to, every day, take a deep breath and remember that as much fun as we're having, this is some really important stuff. And I just hope that the students realize what an unbelievable opportunity you all have to take these people whose day job is to create the quality of life that we all take for granted and have them give you a window into what your futures might be if you use your time wisely and you work hard at things that matter. And as I said last night, you know, why do we really do this? Why do I do this? Why do I try to convince so many people from business and industry and government to help us? Because I'm selfish. Because I want to get old and keep seeing the world be a better and better place. And I don't think that happens for free. I'm selfish because I get up every morning and see the same news as everybody else, and it's generally pretty crummy news these days. There's tsunamis, and there's hurricanes, and there's bird flu, and there's terrorists, and there's all sorts of problems. But then you look at this world full of people overworked and underloved, trying to keep everything together, and these incredibly busy people somehow have time to donate, to give opportunities to kids to see what life can be like for people that think, that have the tools of science and engineering and the disciplines. And I think that one of the bright spots in my life and in the life of a lot of people that participate in FIRST is that it brings the best out in everybody that touches it. And it gives us hope for the future that we really can, through science and technology, solve the problems we know about today, prepare for the ones that will come tomorrow, and have better lives and better futures. So to everybody that participates, A, I thank you, and B, please help spread the word to the rest of the country and the world. We need more people on the positive side of the issues of this world, being net producers of solutions and focused on the things that really matter. And we'll keep doing it in a fun way, because that's the whole purpose of FIRST. Good luck this year. Have a great season.
Please welcome FIRST game design mentor and NASA's program executive for solar system exploration, Dave Lavery.
Thank you. Thank you all. Appreciate it. I'm going to turn things around just a little bit here and mess things up. Who'd like to see the kickoff animation that explains the game? You guys ready to see that? You really, really want to see it? Here it is. Now you've seen it. Best part of that is, I just got Team 341 twice with the same gag. Want to talk a little bit about some of the things that you're going to see in the kit, some of the new technologies that we've included this year, and talk a little bit about sort of where we are in terms of including some new software capabilities in particular. Historically, for the last now 15 years, we've always given you too much stuff on the hardware side. And that was by design. We wanted you to have to make choices to understand what resource budgeting is really all about. We gave you too many motors. If you stuck them all on there and drove them at full speed, you drained your battery too fast. You had to budget your power. You had to budget your weight. You had to budget your volume. We're now doing the same thing to you in terms of software. We've stuffed so much stuff into the kit in terms of software capabilities. If you try to use it all, I will tell you right now, as good as the Innovation First controller is, you will turn it into a little pile of slag on the floor and it won't work anymore. So understand why we're doing what we're doing to you. Again, we want you to think about how to budget resources, how to make use of the tools that we're giving you. Towards that end, I'm just going to run very quickly through a couple of the things that you're going to find in the kit and just a few of the features that are going to be out there that you're going to have available to you. First one, you already know that National Instruments has donated a copy of LabVIEW to every team that's out there and the full set of LabVIEW software. Use it to understand how your sensors, how your motors, and how your systems respond. The software gives you the ability to basically track and log the performance characteristics of the tools that you're putting on your robot in terms of the hardware, and understand if they're responding the way you want them to when you give them a certain set of commands. Now, the LabVIEW software is not something you're going to use on the what we'll call the flight version of the robot, the one you put out in the field. It's a tool for you to use when you're prototyping back in the lab and back in your shops, but it gives you an inside understanding of how your system really is working, whether you want it to work the way you intend. There's a certain subset of you, there are 36 teams out there that prior to the season signed up and made little proposals on some things you wanted to do, that received a data converter that allows you to actually get hardware connections between your robots and the robot elements and your control system. We're actually going to give those 36 teams in particular a special piece of homework right now. One of the things we did not include in the kit completely were all the performance specs on all the motors in the kit. There are a few new ones. Those 36 teams, because they got that additional piece of hardware, have the capability to analyze and fully characterize every single one of the motors that are in the kit, provide full speed torque curves, power performance and response curves, and everything else for those motors. Those 36 teams now have some homework to go in, analyze the motors, characterize them, understand them for their own purposes, and then publicize that data to the other 1,100 teams and let everyone else know what's going on. So that's one thing you've got to start worrying about. In addition, the Innovation First controller is fundamentally the same controller as we've had in the past couple of years, but it has been upgraded. You now have the capability to have twice as much memory and 4 times the code space to work with for your controller for this year. We know from our experience last year that a couple of teams were writing software that was just overrunning the memory capability, so we've given you more. You can work with that, it'll give you a lot more capability, but again, if you stuff in everything, you still will overrun even that additional capability. But run with that and use it. In conjunction with the IFI system, we've also gone back and working again with Microchip. Microchip is again providing copies of the MP Lab and the Microchip compiler to every one of the teams. You've got that, you're familiar with the environment. If you worked with it last year, you should be good to go. We also got a lot of feedback from several teams that said, we don't have really experienced C programmers on our team. Is there anything you can do to give us the capability to get up to speed and be basically comparable or competitive with some of the very, very well-supported teams that have a lot of programmers working with it? So we scratched our heads for a little while, and we've now formed a strategic link with Intelitech Corporation, who's providing every single one of the teams with a copy of EasyC designed for the FRC controller. If you're not familiar with EasyC, what it allows you to do is use a graphical interface to drag blocks of code around in a symbolic manner to very, very quickly build fairly complex sets of code. During one of the workshops yesterday, they were able to build an entire operating sensor system with 7 lines of code, effectively 7 lines of EasyC. It's that easy, it's that effective, and it's very, very fast for you to prototype code. A lot of the experienced teams with a lot of programmers are going to find that using EasyC to do quick prototyping and very rapid turnaround prototyping early on in the development cycle is going to be a very useful thing to do, and then later on you may convert over and do straight hacking of original lines of code in MP Lab or something like that. Look at the tool, take a whack at it. There's one particular feature every team is going to use. There's basically the equivalent to a dashboard. Every team has said, I want to be able to just move one joint on my robot during testing. Can I drive just one motor easily without having to set up my entire control system? EasyC has a nice pre-built dashboard that will allow you to do that. You take a virtual pot, you move it on the screen, and you drive just one motor or one output, and you can play with individual outputs all the way across the entire system. It's a very, very neat capability, and I think every team is going to use that, whether they use EasyC for anything else or not. That's something they're going to be after. In addition to that, for the teams that are going to be more intensely involved with their programming, you've got a full suite of capabilities. I want to outline one of them just very quickly in terms of some additional software that we're going to give every single team out there. Whether you're using MP Lab or whether you're using EasyC, you're going to be interfacing with a camera. Okay, this is probably a surprise to absolutely no one who was involved last year. But what I've got is just a little demonstration unit here. It's just an Innovation First mini controller here on the bottom that's just connected to a little pan tilt unit. I wonder where you're going to get a pan tilt unit. have to worry about that. Again, look very carefully at the contents of your kit. And basically, it is pre-programmed and preset with some software that Kevin Watson at JPL wrote and has graciously, again, donated to every single one of the teams and made available, that is designed to look at an illuminated green target. And very simply, what I want to do here is just turn it on, and it begins to scan and locks on to the illuminated green target that it's looking for. And then as I move around, it tracks that target and continues to keep it centered in the field of view of the camera as I move around. And if I lose it, I'm going to just turn it off right now. If I lose it, it'll scan and reacquire and bring it back again. That's kind of neat, and you saw that sort of capability a lot last year with certain other targets. But it also provides a whole lot of additional information that's being fed back to the operating system and therefore to you guys. It's providing information on where the target is relative to the camera coordinates. How far away is it? What's the elevation? What's the azimuth angle relative to the camera to the target? That may be really interesting information for you to know. Don't know why. The other thing I'm also just going to highlight about is the fact it is an illuminated target. A lot of experience last year in terms of understanding how these sort of cameras respond, and the fact that flat, non-illuminated reflective targets sometimes can get lost in the background clutter in the background view. An illuminated target gives you a known, quantified system to look for in terms of the camera response. It should be relatively easy to find and relatively easy to keep tracking and keep a lock on as your robot is moving around the field. It should make things a whole lot easier. Again, you're going to have to worry about where do I get the targets. That kit of parts list is getting more and more interesting as time goes on. Anyway, let me get out of the way now and turn it back to Blair for the next set of things and some more stuff you're going to find out about the game. We'll see you again in a couple minutes.
And now, please welcome First National Advisor and MIT Professor Woody Flowers.
Good morning. I'm pumped. I hope you all are too. I get to start by making a nice announcement that there will this year be a book published about your robots. The title will be First Robots, Behind the Design. It's going to be published by Rockport Publishers. They specialize in books for design professionals. They do really classy stuff, and we're delighted to be working with them because they're going to be publishing a book about your work. Now, this book is going to be sold at Amazon and Barnes & Noble and all the major distribution places, and it will feature designs by teams who have won one of the 5 engineering or technical awards at either the regionals or the nationals. If you win one of those, you have 30 days to submit the materials that support your design process and your design. And based on that material, Rockport Publishers will select a book full of wonderful stuff and put out the book. Now, if you think you might win one of those engineering awards, please start early and document carefully both the process and your final design so they'll have some great stuff to work with. Now, a bit earlier you heard some comments about safety, general safety. This year there are some specific safety issues. Let's listen to some comments by our long-term supporters from the U.S. Coast Guard Academy.
Hi, I'm Captain Vince Wolzinski.
I'm Master Chief Roger Griswold.
Safety is an important part of robot design. We're going to look at a machine that can throw softballs and look at it through the eyes of safety. This machine has a single motor directly connected to a disc. The loading mechanism is a tube, and a compliant spacer gives a bit as a ball passes between it and the spinning disc.
Safety is a design requirement. A safe system is one that was designed safely from the start. Robot safety should be formally addressed during the design process. A design safety review should be conducted early in the design cycle.
Machines are dumb. Humans are not. Use that to your advantage. When working around the machines, use caution, have a healthy regard for the forces, and think.
Always wear eye protection when working on and around machines. No part of your body should ever come in contact with a machine.
Machine entanglement is a risk that always must be avoided. Never work around a machine with uncontrolled hair, while wearing jewelry, loose-fitting clothing, and certainly never while wearing a tie. You might have thought that Dean's open-collared shirt and Woody's ponytail were mere fashion statements, but they're more than that. They're showing a healthy regard for machinery.
Safe systems control the rate and amount of energy transferred where and when it's needed, and prevent the transmission of harmful forms of energy. For the softball throwing machine, energy transfer is controlled by the motor speed and the fixed distance between the rotating and stationary surfaces. The loading mechanism prevents hands from coming in contact with the spinning disc.
Safe systems anticipate problems and incorporate things such as overload protection, weak links, shear pins that fail to protect the rest of the machinery, such as a fuse on the softball thrower. Machines must be designed with guards. These shields must be affixed to the machine and be strong enough to withstand impact. Guards provide protection from outside elements and contain system failures should the device ever have a bad day.
If the guard needs to be removed for maintenance or testing, the system should not be operated. Shields and guards should never be removed when machinery is in operation.
The loading mechanism for the softball thrower acts as a guard to prevent the operator's hands from contacting the spinning disc. The safety of this design could be improved by adding a shield all the way around the spinning disc to prevent objects from interacting with the disc. Pinch points exist in machines between sliding or rotating components, gears, belts, or chains. Shields must be used at all pinch points on the machine.
Only personnel that are properly trained should operate machinery, whether that be softball throwers or robots. The operating procedures should be written down, reviewed, and followed.
A few more comments on safety. Whenever a component is removed for maintenance, make sure that the machine is locked out and tagged out to prevent using the machine in an unsafe condition. For example, on your robot, pull the power fuse and place signs on the robot and controller alerting others that the system should not be operated.
A safety shutdown switch should be installed in reach of the operator. For robots, the power cord for the controller and the circuit breaker can serve as safety shutdowns.
In the event that an injury occurs, you need to be prepared. Your work area should be equipped with a first aid station and a list of medical facilities that can be contacted for help should the need arise. Safety is a key component of the first experience.
Your machines are powerful,
and an emphasis on safety will benefit all. Good luck and be safe.
Okay. I trust you're all anxious about the game being unveiled. If it's any consolation, I'd like to guarantee you that the Game Design Committee is sweating bullets today. I've been doing this since about 1970, and it's always really hard and really scary. And in this case, it's because there are 40,000 very smart people about to look at what we've done. And if we have done a good job, the process could be very important to you. It's important because you could learn some very important stuff. You have to learn that you can learn the hard stuff. You have to have faith in your ability to be creative. You have to know that you can work in complex interpersonal situations. And you have to experience the pride of knowing that you've done a good job on a tough problem. And none of those things come cheaply. So that's why we've tried to give you a problem too big, a time too short, a budget too small, and a team too large. And the reason we do that is that's the way things happen. That's a very realistic set of constraints. That's the way we make progress. The other thing is that that's such tight constraints that real problems bubble up. And inevitably, you will get to learn a lot about yourself in the process. That's important because it is absolutely clear that the economy is global. In particular, the students that are listening today, your colleagues as well as your competitors are going to come from places that you've probably never heard of. Folks like us in the developed world have had our hour in the sun. There's now a whole bunch of people who want to get in, and they're working really hard. And oddly enough, compared to the average in the United States, they have an advantage because many of them are operating in a culture where they can be proud of working hard and learning a lot. They don't feel socially obligated to spend all their resources on looking just right. They don't feel socially obligated to be bad or act tough. And they admire their sports heroes and their movie stars, but their role models are people who are educated and successful. Most importantly, though, they're deserving, they're smart, they're hardworking, they will work like crazy, and by the time you guys get into the workplace, they probably will outnumber you by a large margin. So let me repeat. You must know, if you want to be in the game, that you can learn the hard stuff, that you can be creative, that you can work with people, and you've got to know how it feels to be proud of having done a really good job. Now, FIRST is an amazing opportunity. It's a cure. I think our culture is addicted to a bunch of really strange things that are out of proportion. Much of our entertainment creates victims. Most of the time, getting rid of an addiction is really hard and painful. FIRST makes it easy. FIRST is probably the best tasting medicine you'll ever encounter. Now, I think our culture is stumbling drunk on celebrity. FIRST is about being stumbling tired because you're working on something you really love. FIRST is about nerd pride, but it's about nouveau nerd pride. Nouveau nerd pride means you understand about nature, the universe, technology. You understand about yourself, and you understand how you fit in society. And if you're surrounded by peers who think that's not cool, believe me, that is their problem. And by the time they figure out it's their problem, it may be too late for them. Now, this learning that I'm talking about, I really believe comes from deep immersion. So please get your head around as many parts of the competition as you possibly can. And actually celebrate the fact that this is not a multiple choice quiz or a true-false quiz. This is about tough trade-offs, complicated problems. Learning how to deal with them will be good for you. Learn about yourself. Be a little selfish. You're navigating your own path through life. High school kids ask me about advice for going to college, and I give them advice that sometimes is a little shocking. I say, go find a really hard course and try to take it from the worst professor on campus, a real jerk, and then ace the course. Because if you do that, you know that you're in control and you can learn what you need no matter who's dishing it out. Also, during the competition, focus on the really positive stuff. There are lots of different models for the way the teams operate, and some people worry about whether there's an extreme of all students building a robot or a lot of involvement by the mentors. In the middle is where most teams are. Let other teams do it the way they choose. Focus on doing the best job you can with your group. So let me close by saying that we want you to have a meaningful life. And it seems pretty clear that that's going to be associated with being a good world citizen. And that probably is going to come from getting some satisfaction in life. And you're going to get an opportunity to get some satisfaction because you're effective. I think the first competition is a great way to get a boost up that series. So I think you will enjoy it. By the way, about one of those hints, a game piece obsessed with a shovel show. M. Krause, Delphi official thread number 14. Got it. David Spade starred in a show entitled Just Shoot Me. A game piece obsessed with Just Shoot Me. I wonder what that means. So let's meet the guys that proudly offer you a couple of months of sleepless nights, the 2006 Game Design Committee.
Please welcome the first Robotics Game Design Committee, Vinny Hollywood Wilczynski, Head of Mechanical Engineering Department at the United States Coast Guard Academy. DECA Engineer, Benji Boom Boom Ambrosi. First Robotics Competition Director, Bill the Monster Miller. Up next, First Senior Director of Programs, Steve the Commander Chisholm. And from the West Coast, First Regional Director, Jason, no longer on the market, Morella. All the way from Texas, from Innovation First, Tony Two-Ton Norman. And the first engineering manager, Walt the Flyboy Porter. Let's also welcome to the committee, Dean, Dave, and Woody. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the 2006 First Robotics Competition game, Aim High. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Okay, guys, we know that it looks good. Let's see how it plays.
Welcome to the 2006 First Robotics Competition in this year's game, Aim High. This year's game is played on a 26 by 54 foot field. 3 goal openings are located in each alliance station wall through which your opponents will be able to score. Above each center goal is an illuminated target that is used by the automated vision system to determine range and location of the goals. A platform in front of each alliance station wall is used at the end of the match by robots when they climb upon it and score bonus points. The objective of the game is simple. Shoot, push, or roll balls through any of the 3 goals at the far end of the field. At the end of the match, you have your 3 robots on your ramp in front of your alliance station. The match starts with a 10-second autonomous period in which robots will attempt to score using just pre-programmed instructions. Each robot can start with up to 10 balls in their possession. Robots can use the onboard vision system to determine the location of the upper center goal. After computing a trajectory, balls are shot through the goal opening for higher point values. Whichever alliance scores highest during the autonomous period earns a 10-point bonus, and their goal is turned off in the next period of the game. At the end of the autonomous period, the human players step forward and take over the controls for the remainder of the game. In this case, the Blue Alliance robots are on offense and will attempt to score through any of the goals. The Red Alliance robots will attempt to defend the goals to the best of their ability to keep the blue robots from scoring. Robots can restock their supply of balls by either picking them up from the field surface or receiving them directly from human players. At all times during this period, one robot from the defending alliance must remain at the far end of the field and cannot cross the midfield line. For the next period of the game, the roles are reversed as the offensive alliance goes on defense and vice versa. Thus, every robot will have to have both good offensive and defensive capabilities. Robots will also have to be robust to withstand impacts from other robots and the occasional flying ball. During the final period of the game, both goals are turned back on and both alliances can score. During this last 40-second period, teams will need to keep a careful eye on the clock. They want to score as many points as possible while leaving themselves enough time to get back to their end of the field and put 1, 2, or all 3 robots up on the platform for bonus points. In this match, Red wins the 10-point autonomy bonus. Each alliance gets 1 point for every ball in a corner goal and 3 points for every ball in a center goal. Red has all 3 robots on the platform for a 25-point bonus and wins the match 74-70. Good luck, and we'll see you at the competition.
Great job, Dave. When do you sleep?
I don't. I just gave it up.
Well, this is certainly one of our best games, or at least it's in the top 15. Yep. So that blue team, they almost had it. Maybe if they were a little better in that autonomous mode.
I think they tried a little bit harder, they would have had it.
We got a regulation-sized field here. Let's see what we can do. Woody, how's that Red Alliance doing?
Dean, we got a good-looking alliance on Red. First robot, it's got a brain, it's good and autonomous, it can see, it's a shooter. That one's looking strong. Here we got one that looks like it might shoot short range, and look, it's a harvester. Maybe this machine came from the Corn Belt. Looking good. And we've also got a deep threat, a robot that can shoot long, way out. Made it. So Red's looking good. What do you got on blue, Dave?
Okay, Woody, over here on the Blue Alliance, we've got a super shooter. She's so good, she can actually shoot on the fly while she's moving. In addition, we got a little blue soccer-kicking bulldozer robot here that was really designed to focus on the corner goals, the one-point goals over here. And our third team member on the Alliance is a defensive robot that really has some shooting skills that are still being developed, I think, a little bit.
Thanks, Dave. Well, we got a real field here. Let's get started. Woody, will you do the honors?
I'd be delighted. Blue, are you ready? Red, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go, autonomous period, 10 seconds.
Look, the Red Harvester's going the wrong way. It's on defense.
5 seconds remaining.
That's right. If the blue super shooter could have kept position, they would have made another 3 points.
It looks like that autonomous move really made the difference.
Red has taken the autonomous period, receives the 10-point bonus, and moves on to defense first. And here they go. Red Alliance now, backing up on the defense.
So blue goes on offense now. Where's the Red Harvester going?
Across the center line.
The Red Alliance picked her to be their backbot, which means she can't be on the defensive end. So she's going to load up for the next period.
This game is subtle.
Blue Alliance robots.
Yeah, but look at the little blue bulldozer racking up points in the corner.
After this period, the Red Alliance will go.
Here comes the little red machine to block.
Score while they can.
Look at those other two blue robots.
Now. Human players.
Those defensive moves are really working
the field. And 7
it
seconds.
Takes teamwork to score all
Red
those
Alliance
3-pointers.
Scoring at the other end with 2.
3 on 2 at this end. Red can't be everywhere.
And we switch end of the field. Here we go. Third period.
Okay, and here comes the Red Alliance.
18, blue 33.
Look, Blue's using his own defense. Who's playing backbot?
Nicely done.
It's their defense specialist.
Shooting high as well.
That's an interesting choice.
Blue Lines defending the low goal.
The third blue machine must be pretty well loaded by now.
The backbot waiting patiently across the midfield line. And she crosses the center field line. There's a flag thrown by the referee.
He spotted that empty goal, and he's heading for it now.
Across the midfield.
There's a lot going on here.
Where's that bulldozer
Now 10
going?
seconds remaining. Human
She's
players
probably getting ready for the final period.
With 5 seconds. And 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
It's 3 on 3 now.
Period, 40 seconds.
That's going to change the strategies on both sides. Let's see what they're going to do.
Balls are flying everywhere now. There's no reason to hold on to them anymore.
Teams looking to raise that up. 30 seconds remaining now. Human players trying to feed those robots. Blue Alliance scoring high. Nicely done. Red Alliance robot doing the same. Matching them. 1, bada bing, bada boom. 20 seconds remaining.
And now everyone's breaking away and running for their own home platforms.
The red super shooter's all tangled up. I wonder if he'll make it.
Still trying to go coast to coast and score in those low corners.
Looks like that blue machine is going to need a bump. Nice play.
And now 5 seconds. Blue Line's almost there. With 3, 2, 1.
That was close. Will she get ramp points for that?
Yeah, her wheels are off the carpet. That's all that has to happen. She doesn't need to be all the way up on the platform.
Here comes the ref.
Blue Alliance, 3 robots on the platform, 25 points. Red Alliance, 2 robots on the platform, 10 points. Height violation, Blue Alliance, 5-point penalty. Offside, Blue Alliance, 5-point penalty.
And the final score, red 58, and blue takes the match with 63 points.
Congratulations. Great job. Dave, what do you think was critical in this match?
I think it's situational awareness, understanding what's going on the field. Look at the Red Alliance. They found an undefended goal and were able to take advantage of that.
I think this year, teamwork is more critical than ever. Defense, offense, it's going to be critical everywhere. And the diversity of machines, like some of these machines that chose not to shoot, were as critical to these matches as all the others.
Blair, let's see what the audience thinks.
Woody, I'm here with a rookie. This is Reggie. He's from Nashville. His eyes are as big as saucers and his mouth is on the floor. Reggie, what do you think of this year's game?
It's overwhelming.
Does anyone else think so? Well, we know that you're excited to start building your robots. But first, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for that fast, funny, and informative first game show, First Track, the game that points you in the right direction to the manual every time. Let's meet our contestants. Our first contestant is NASA's own Dave the Spaceman Lavery. Our next contestant is the guru of first, the professor who puts the GP in gracious professionalism, Woody Flowers. And our final contestant, the man with all the answers, the man who started it all, first founder, Dean Kamen. And how about a warm welcome for our fabulous First Track host, Paul Adonis Godonis.
Okay, contestants, are you ready?
We're ready.
Let's start with the first question. Why is scoring during the autonomous period so important?
The team that gets the most points during autonomous period gets a 10-point bonus. They go on defense in the second period, on offense in the third period, just before the final period.
Yes, that's correct. Nice job, Woody. We're off to a good start today. Okay, contestants, question number 2. Do you have to have an advanced degree to figure out scoring this year?
Yes, and a degree in quantum mechanics is always going to be helpful, especially for this year's game.
No! It's simple this year. 1 point for the corner goals. 3 points for the upper goals. 10 points if you win the autonomous period. And then at the end of the match, for robots in your goal area, you get 5 points if there's 1, you get 10 points if there's 2, and if there's 3 or more, you get 25 points.
Very good. Thank you, Dean. Okay, here's a highly technical question. Are bumpers required?
I was still living off that last great victory. They are, if you're driving with Leadfoot Lavery over here.
Wait a minute. No, we didn't need him on the Mars rovers. We don't need him on your robots either.
No, bumpers are not required, but if you put bumpers all the way around, you have a much more robust robot and you're 15 pounds heavier and have a traction advantage.
Thank you, Woody. Right, very important question. When is the ship deadline for robots?
I don't know, whenever the teams are ready.
I know that one was wrong. Tuesday, the 21st of February at midnight.
Yes, and it will be here before you know it. Thank you, Dave. All right, on to our next question. Can humans outscore robots?
Not on any of my planets.
No, machines are just so much more efficient.
Humans can score in the lower goals, in the corner goals, but a human scoring in the center goal is a 5-point penalty.
Thank you, Dean. Right now, gentlemen, how big can a robot's shooting mechanism be?
The solar system is the limit.
Height is completely overrated.
Shooting mechanism of the robot can never exceed the 28 by 38 by 60 inch limit. During the competition, the robot can expand to 5 feet by 5 feet in horizontal direction, but can never be more than 60 inches tall.
All right. Thank you, Woody, for clarifying that. All right, on to our next question. What is a backbot?
A robot that gives you a massage?
A robot that only drives backwards.
During I'm reading this one. During periods 2 and 3, that's the offense and defense, only 2 of your robots on any alliance can be on the defensive end of the field. Only 1 robot on that alliance can be on offense.
Hey, he cheated.
You got notes.
That's right, Dean. Thank you. All right, now, what is the best way to get your team's robot to appear in the upcoming first book of robots?
A series of non-sequential 20s in a small envelope under my door. It'll work, trust me.
Program your robot to actually author the book.
First, you must win one of the 5 engineering and technical awards at a regional event or the championship, and then you have to follow the instructions in section 10.
That's it. Thank you, Woody. And now, the last question everyone has been waiting for. What is the password for the encrypted PDF file of the manual?
You simply get it by Googling Kickoff manual password.
The Green Hills of Montana. A clue.
Open sesame.
Sorry, gentlemen. The correct answer is on your screen, and it will be shown again in a minute at the end of the program. Well, thank you, Dean, Woody, Dave, for your valiant efforts. Clearly, the winner is any team that reads the manual and follows the procedures. See you out there. Have a great season.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's this? I don't know, Dean. I'm not sure that these are the best seats in the house.
Woody, I didn't say they were the best seats. I said they're the most exciting.
I'm not sure. Whoa, this was a good idea.
I don't know. You think they're going to be able to solve this problem this year?
I think they can solve it. I just don't know, do we give them enough time?
Dave, we never give them enough time, but they always come through.
Whoa! Oh! Hey, it looks to me like they really got this problem nailed this year.
They always do. Good luck, everybody.
We'll see you.
I beg and please.